Headmaster, members of the board, honored guests, teachers, parents, families, fellow students. It's hard to believe that many of this year's grade 12s came from the hyperactive, wild mess that was sent from the middle school 4 years ago. I look behind me and I see well-behaved graduates with happy, smiling, proud parents looking on from the audience. 4 years is more than enough time to omit certain memories, apparently. For those of you who don't have trouble remembering those days, I won't make you relive them, but I will remind you that it was our class that drove one of our teachers to throw a student's cell phone out the window of his second-story classroom. We were completely focused on amusing ourselves. Everything else, including classes and teachers, were just obstacles in the way of our goofing off. Our grade was so reminiscent of the adolescent animal kingdom portrayed in the popular movie Mean Girls that SMU had to bring in the actual author of the original book to come teach our grade how to behave. The SMU faculty who dealt with our grade 9 classes were like horse trainers trying to break a wild stallion. Okay, try not to roll your eyes, I'm getting there. What I like about our grade, however, is that we weren't broken. Instead of caving in and becoming a group of rigid, rule-abiding students, we managed to become more compatible with the high school while still retaining our spirit. We channeled our pursuits from harassing teachers and making life difficult for everyone by congregating directly in front of the entrance to the library, to honing our diverse set of talents through the many outlets SMU has to offer. As the years have progressed, our grade has been transformed, not only by the positive boost of new students arriving in the senior school, but also by the renewed enthusiasm of the old ones. We may still be animals, but we are no longer the fauna of Mean Girls. No, we have risen to take our place in the great kingdom of the Lion King. We have not turned our backs on our feral beginnings, but rather used our energy to find our niche in the St. Michael's circle of life. We really have access to a habitat, a savanna, if you will, that matches the kind of caliber creatures that we are. I feel that one of the really special things about SMU is the number of opportunities that it offers to its students. Now, I know that has been said in one way or another so many times over our tenure here that I'm sure for most of the people sitting behind me that line didn't even register. Well, that's assuming they're still listening. To be honest, it's just so easy for us, for those of us who have been inside SMU for a while, to get used to this, and maybe even take it for granted, but I can't stress enough how amazing and diverse our opportunities have been. Our graduates are involved in rugby, squash, field hockey, cricket, rowing, golf, basketball, volleyball, badminton, cross-country, soccer, tennis, sailing, aviation. There's the musical, the theater society, arts council, acoustic concerts, walk for water, keep the beat, mathletes, investment club, food committee, free the children, chapel team, peer support, Pride Alliance, the E-team, the Ivy Journal, the knitting club. I mean, come on, we even have a ukulele society. Like, really, really. And you would think that with this many activities, that students would feel exhausted with the number of things going on in their lives. The reality is the exact opposite. We crave doing things so much that we take busying ourselves into our own hands. For example, this year we created a student-run aviation society, which consisted of the extensive designing and launching of paper airplanes. We needed a place to throw from and an ample supply of paper, so the unique second-floor balcony and a large collection of summer reading pamphlets made the library the ideal place to do it. So we like clubs. One of the best things about our institutions, however, is how inclusive everything is. A SMU student can try out for anything that is offered here and have an equal shot at being a part of it, no matter what people might perceive their strengths to be. Let me give you an example. Now, I don't think it's a good idea to talk about my fellow graduates in front of you all by name because, I wouldn't want to cause them any embarrassment or anything, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. Alistair Bryson. Now, this is a classmate whose thunderous baritone voice has caused him numerous problems. The disruptive quality of his voice in quiet places comes second in our grad class only to mine. But this same student recently won the Daisiel Cup for the most outstanding rugby player on the field, and was described by his English teacher as being and I quote, a beautiful, expressive poet. Okay, I'm still pretty skeptical about that last one, but I guess I'll have to just take Miss McCatchin at her word. Another student who's thrived in our animal kingdom is Robin Hope. She knows that in evolution, there are those who adapt and survive, and those who don't find their niche and perish. Learning early that she had a gift in theater, she worked hard to hone her abilities and waited for the right moment to strike. Near the end of last year, she jumped on her opportunity to step into her niche as a director and was able to reap the fruits of her labor from the successes of her plays. She became so capable, in fact, that Miss Fraser sensed her competition and wrote an entire play for third term just so that she and not Robin could be the one to direct it. Our class seems to have the ability to immerse ourselves in so many things while still appearing to be experts in all of them. We have another stellar example of student diversity in our student body. This is one of the first years that a first 15 rugby player has also managed to land a lead in the musical and the theater society. This is no easy feat, especially when this person had to balance this out with being devastatingly handsome and extremely popular. I think he should just remain nameless. This year, a large number of our team made it to provincials. I personally had the privilege to compete with my team in the rugby provincials, and something that really struck me was the unity of our team. We all felt like we could talk and joke around with each other, and didn't think twice about having guys on our team who were 2 grades below us over to our rooms to hang out. People involved in other SMU endeavors say that they've experienced the same thing. Like a pride of lions, we must look after our young members, watching over them and preparing them for the day that they get to rise and be Mufasa. This is one of the main reasons why we allowed so many grade 10s and 11s to play in our starting teams this year. I mean, come on, we would just look too good if we were doing it all ourselves. They have big enough shoes to fill already with us leaving. It's our unique animal energy that enables us to achieve the success that we've had as a group. We're able to throw ourselves into so many activities and make so many connections with other people. We've earned our spot in the circle of life at SMU and have ruled Pride Rock like Lion Kings. Now all that's really missing is my birth video, but unfortunately Obama beat me to it. I'm so impressed with our abilities and successes, our ambition and our humor, and I'm proud to call myself one of the Pride. Thank you.
Honored guests, headmaster, members of the board, staff, family, friends, and fellow students. Thank you for sticking around this long, even to hear me speak. For the staff and students who might be worried that this is just another one of my assembly confessions, I just want to assure you that I promise to keep it together this time. We'll see. It's been a long 12 or 13 years, and we, the grads, have been looking forward to this day for a very long time. Even as toddlers during potty training and naive school children escaping the dangers of cooties, we thought about this day, and we waited for it. Yeah, it's felt that long. And here we are in our caps and gowns, knowing that the end is near, and maybe, just maybe, we'll miss it more than we think. Our class is set for bright futures. We have your future Wayne Gretzky's, Meryl Streep's, Michael Jackson's, the singer or the teacher, Barack Obama's, Doogie Howser's, and one future ruler of the world. Hey, Yao, stay in touch. We are truly a grad class to be reckoned with. We are the grad class that raised over $3 million in scholarship money, and no other graduating class has ever done that before. We are the grad class that pulled off the most grad pranks in a year in the history of SMU. And we are the grad class that won the Nobel Prize for best grad class ever. Okay, you caught me. We only did one grad prank, but we saved it to the end just when everybody thought we gave up, and it was pretty impressive. And I could go on about how great and talented we are, but I'm sure you all know that already. Just look at us. The awesomeness is overwhelming. That's why it's so hard to breathe in here. Most of us will be heading off to universities and other embarking on different adventures. And even if we tried to forget our time here at SMU, there's always going to be evidence. On a brick in the quad, inside the cover of a textbook, in a slightly unfortunate yearbook picture, and in the memories of the teachers and other students. No more living at home, for some of us. No more house parents, for all of us. No more curfews. Possibly. I'll probably still go to bed at 8 p.m. every day, but it's nice to know that I have the freedom to choose such a late bedtime. This year, there have been many incredible achievements by SMU students, but at the same time, there have certainly been some disappointments. I know I've had at least one big disappointment. My one true love still doesn't know my name. But that's another story. Our grade is no exception in SMU's long-standing record of high achievement. Our graduating students have been accepted into many great universities all around the world, all over Canada, the US, Europe, and even Asia. You might say that we are a very successful class, although the way we measure success may be somewhat different for each of us. Whether success is in the form of earning a perfect score on a test, winning a critical rugby match, becoming a DDR champion, or conquering the highest level of Angry Birds. And believe me, if you can beat Angry Birds, then that's all the success you need. But let me be serious for a second. For me, the way I gauge success has definitely evolved. I once thought that going to a good university and getting a fancy job was the best measure of success. If I could achieve those things, then I would be successful. But it's different for everyone. Not everybody goes to university, and not everybody becomes a doctor or a lawyer, though we do have a staggering number of doctors and lawyers in our graduating class. But that doesn't mean that any one person is more successful than the other. What has dawned upon me is that being a person of integrity and trying to do something meaningful is even more valuable than a prestigious degree. What's more, success, in my view, should also be measured by how we react to achievements and disappointments, whether we can support others through their disappointments and have the courage to start anew when we've been knocked down ourselves, and whether we can celebrate our own accomplishments with grace and celebrate others' accomplishments with generosity. So yes, we are a grad class that is prepared to conquer the world, but I hope, no, I'm sure we can do it with class. So here we are, taking on the biggest challenge yet on the day that we start the next phase of our lives. And there are many people that deserve our thanks for bringing us to this day. Without these people, we still might be stuck thinking that piracy is a viable career and Lady Gaga's outfits are sensible fashion choices. So, goodbye and thank you to the teachers who never failed to get us excited about topics that really, if it were up to us, would not be exciting at all. Not goodbye, but thank you to the parents who are willing to guide and love us through an awkward stage called teenagerdom. And goodbye and thank you to my fellow students, who I regret not having gone to know all of you, have made SMU the experience everyone hopes for. So, congratulations, Grad XI. We did it. We're finally done. Booyah. In closing, I'd like to quote the wise words of a close friend of mine. Dear myself. What shall I do? I've had a great time here. I'm really going to miss SMU. Thank you.